Hey Fae folk, welcome back to my February recap video for 2026. We do of course have to get through my Just For Me doll from this month, my favorite doll that I unboxed this month, as well as a couple of other dolly related issues. However, at the end of the video we do have to get like a little bit more personal, and I just want to give y'all some little life updates, some little mental health updates, specifically because I do think at this point it is affecting the channel, and so I feel like it's kind of appropriate for me to be just like a tiddly bit more open with that. It's going to be really bad and awkward. So I do need to warn you in advance that if this first, like, really doll focused portion is weird, I am sorry. I just am filled with the nervous energy of knowing that I have to talk about an unpleasant subject after filming the fun part. And like, I don't think it would be any better to film the unpleasant part before the fun part and then like transition into it. There's just going to be a little bit of energy in the video. I will try to really be locked in on the doll stuff and make this first part as enjoyable as possible, but do please just give me some grace with that one if I'm like a little bit weird in this first portion of the video. Obviously, the second portion of the video where I'm actively talking about my mental health, I'm going to be a mess. So like, be prepared for that if you want to stick around. You are under no obligation to stick around, of course. Like, I really only need a couple of chapters for this video, but I will have them regardless, and I will obviously have like a nice clean cutoff point to warn you that we are entering serious territory. So if you don't want to deal with that, if you just want to talk about dolls and you don't want to hear any of that shit, I completely understand, and you will be free to go. Like, that's totally fine. But yeah, that's what we're going to be doing for today's video. So to go ahead and just start off with, like I said, the like more fun stuff, let's talk about my Just For Me doll for February. So this is Bratz Stylin' Sasha. Now, if you are like confused about my Just For Me doll comment, I did make one of my goals for 2026 to each month have a doll that I buy just for myself that I'll like post on Instagram and that I will talk about in these recap videos, but that I don't do a review for, that I just like let myself unbox off camera and then like play around with for my own joy. I'm really loving it so far. She's obviously, I mean, this is February, so she's only the second one, but like, I don't know. I just think it's fun to get to experience like bonding with dolls in multiple different ways. I think that that's really cool. But Stylin' Sasha specifically, you can see that she is certainly not wearing her original outfit. I waited for her to go on sale because I thought that the base doll and like specifically her face is just so ungodly pretty. Like, she's just an absolutely gorgeous Sasha to me. And the hair blend too, like the red mixed with the dark brown and like the little waves that it has, she is so pretty. I just personally wasn't a huge fan of the outfit for Stylin' Sasha, so we did give her a little redress. I do have to hold her quite carefully. We'll talk about why in a second, but just to go through, I have no idea what necklace she's wearing. Also, I did post pictures on my Instagram, so like, if you want to see more close-up pictures there, one picture there, you can go check that out. She's wearing, I think it was Going Out Yasmin's jacket. Immediately I've forgotten. Sometimes I feel like I have a hard time remembering like the different Bratz lines, like differentiating them in my head. But this was originally a Yasmin jacket. The shirt that she has on underneath here is from the Reproduction Girls Night Out Chloe doll. I did make the skirt. It's kind of shitty. It's not like a great skirt, but I just didn't have anything that like fit the way I wanted it to, that really just functioned only to make sure that she wasn't bottomless. Like, I didn't really want like a statement skirt or anything, so I just like sewed a quick little skirt for her to just keep her covered. And then the boots are the reason that we have to be really careful, and why she's like staying on the stand, and why I'm sort of not like moving her around too much. So I found out through this stall, I am promptly going to forget which line it is. I think it was Going Out that introduced this change, and then all Bratz releases subsequent to that have this change. Please do correct me if I'm wrong in the comments on like the exact line that like marks the demarcation between the old leg pegs and the new leg pegs. But the important part to know is that they have new leg pegs. The newer Bratz dolls have a different little like peg where their foot like pops off and on, versus like the 2000s ones and like the older dolls that we've gotten, like 2020. And again, I think it goes up to Going Out. I think that's where it is. But once again, please feel free to correct me. The point is that these shoes, I can't remember exactly which doll they were from, but I know that they're originally Bratz shoes. I know that they are from, I think, one of like the 2020 to like 2023 releases, I want to say. I'm not 100% sure, but they were like from that era, right? And they don't fit on her leg pegs because they changed them, so the shoes aren't like compatible anymore, which personally I think is actually crazy. Like, I just don't see why that would have been necessary. And now there's a bunch of shoes that aren't compatible. But it is what it is. Since these are boots, I am lucky in the sense that like you obviously can't see her actual leg pegs. So her shoes are very precariously held on by blue tack that I just like stuck in there and shoved her leg. Listen, I just wanted her to wear these boots and like she's not compatible with any of my other brat shoes and I thought that these looked really good with the outfit. So I made it work. But yeah, because of that, she is a little precarious. Like her shoes will, sort of fall off much more easily than most brats' shoes. But regardless of all that, now that I have her restyled, I just love her so much. It was super fun to get to unbox her and just like immediately wash her hair and immediately start playing around with outfits for her instead of like sitting down and unboxing dolls. Cause y'all know I love unboxing dolls too. And like that's a different sort of joy. And I'm very grateful to get to experience both. But, like, it was really, really nice to just get to have this and get to, like, play around with dressing her up and everything. So we're still loving the Just For Me dolls thing, but obviously I had to share her with you in some capacity. So that was my Just For Me doll for February. And then when it comes to my favorite doll for the month, it is another Bratz. It's the Pop Stars Chloe. Listen, to be fair, there wasn't like that much competition going on this month. Like this was sort of just a light month in terms of the dolls that entered my collection. I had her and then the Pop Stars Yasmin, who realistically probably would have been second place. But the only other dolls that I unboxed in February were the Sparkle and Shine Whitney and Misty dolls. And like those dolls were lovely, but if you saw the review, you will know that they just didn't quite live up to my expectations when it came to quality. So like Chloe is the undisputed queen here. She's just so cool. And honestly, like I'm saying all that being like, oh, there wasn't that much competition. But really and truthfully, I think even if there was a lot of competition, she still would have made it to my top spot because I love this doll so much that I want a double of her. And I almost never buy doubles. Like I always want to make sure people know, like that's no shade if you are someone who habitually buys doubles. I just don't normally do that. But for her, I don't know, I was washing her hair and, like, putting her clothes back on after washing her hair, and I was just like, I know I have extra Bratz clothes that would look phenomenal on this doll that I want to get to see on this doll, and, like, so now I wanna buy a double of her. I am waiting for them to go on sale so that, like, I'm not paying full price for a double doll just because it makes me personally a little bit more comfortable, but, like, that's how much I love her, is that I just think she's so pretty that I literally want a second one so that I can put her in a slightly different outfit because it's not enough to have just the one. Plus, that means that I'll get to have the extra outfit pieces that I don't use, and I'm sure that those are going to go to use on some other doll at some point. So, like, I did the whole like, oh, there wasn't much competition, like I said, but really, really, if I love Chloe enough for her to merit me wanting a dupe, that says a lot. I just think like her whole design is so so good. Her individual pieces are obviously really really cool, like the skirt and like the shirt that's on under here. The jacket's amazing. The boots, but the overall vibe too, like all together, I just think she's so fun. She does stand out to me amongst the pop star lineup. Like definitely, I think she's sort of the odd one out. Like the other three are sort of more in these pastel colors and look a little bit more like they go together, and then Chloe's a little bit different. But in this case, I think different is good. I think different is good for her. She's gorgeous. She is, in fact, my favorite doll of February. Then a couple of other like dolly news related items. First of all, I wanted to talk again about Fang Vote Abby, which I know probably doesn't make sense because that was very much mostly a January thing. I know her like order window extended a little bit into February, but that was mostly a January event, so it doesn't really fit into the February recap, except for the fact that I wanted to congratulate myself on holding fast and not buying that doll. So if you saw my video where I did like do an in-depth discussion about Fang Vote Abby and all the choices and all the things that I voted for and everything, you will know that I ended that video being like, I really love a lot of things about the outfit. I mean, the base dress alone, I think is just so intricate and beautifully designed and wonderful. But there were also a lot of things about the design that I just didn't feel 100% on. Like the stand, I really thought just got completely lost in the design, and the boots especially were a huge thing for me. I really think that I would have had complaints either way with the boots, but personally, I would have preferred the white option versus the black option that did end up winning. And basically, I concluded that video with being like, this doll is still a really nice doll. Like, I definitely don't think she's an ugly doll. She won't be on like my bottom 10 list this year. Like, she's not bad, but she cost $100, and I didn't want to spend $100 plus tax plus shipping on something that I wasn't completely sold on because that just seems like a lot of money for me personally to spend on something that I'm not like utterly in love with. After making that video, I did still debate about it just because, like the FOMO starts reaching in, right? It starts being like, but what if you end up really loving her down the line? Because especially since this is a made to order item, like she's not gonna ever like go on sale. You can't get her anymore. And since there was such like a limited window, there's like such a limited quantity in a way of this doll existing, like secondhand prices I'm sure are going to be really insane. So I was like, oh, if you don't buy her now, you can't buy this doll ever because it's just not going to be realistic for me to pay secondhand prices if I already didn't want to pay $100. You know what I'm saying? And so that FOMO started creeping in, and it was like, oh, you could restyle her. I even came up with a restyle that I honestly think I would have been really happy with, but it wasn't like I saw this doll. Like a perfect example is my Bratziversary Jade hanging out back here. I know you're not going to be able to like really see her because of the way she's displayed, but I paid full price for that doll because I wasn't sure if it was going to sell out. Like that was the first Bratziversary doll that we got, and so it was like I have no idea if this is going to be like a Mattel Creations launch or like the first like Mean Girls Bratz launch. Like if it was going to be this super hard to get sort of thing, or if it was going to be something that sold out really quickly. And when I saw that doll, I immediately, without any effort, had this restyle in mind and was like, this is how mine needs to look. And so I felt more justified in paying full price for that doll because I had a creative vision that just like organically popped into my head for her. Whereas with Abby, yes, I came up with a restyle like in my head that I think would have been really pretty and really nice, but I had to work for it. And it was really a restyle that I came up with like so that I could justify buying the doll. And for me, that's just not how I wanted that to go. Like I just didn't think that that was how I needed to be spending my money and like be doing things. So I didn't get her. I held fast and I didn't get her. And I do want to say, like, if you just loved that doll from the get go and you got her, I'm super happy for her. If you had similar reservations to me, but you also felt FOMO and you gave in, there is no judgment there. Like, it is so, so hard to resist FOMO. So it really, truly is not me being like, look at me, I did so much better. Like, it's not that. I just, on a personal level, was really proud of myself for being able to stick to my guns and being able to like be secure in that decision. And you know what? I haven't even thought about her at all. Like until I sat down to make this video and I knew that she was on the list of things that I wanted to talk about today, I didn't even notice when the order window closed and I haven't thought about her outside of like maybe a few times for comparison's sake for other dolls. Like I haven't thought about her all of February, which really does tell me that I was right in not buying her because like a doll that you spend $100 on, I feel like after buying it, even if you don't have it in your hands right away, personally, I would want to be thinking about her and be like excited about her still for at least like a week after that like event, right? But I didn't think about this doll at all. So I definitely think I was right in my decision and I just was really proud of myself for being able to like stick to it. And so I just kind of wanted to shout myself out a little bit there. And then the last little doll related topic that I wanted to discuss is the fact of the Fantastical Realms fan vote Barbie getting canceled slash postponed. I made a whole video about this doll in which I talked about my personal problems with her, namely that I think she's a perfectly pretty design, but I would be willing to pay in like the $30 to $50 range. And they were asking $100 for this doll. And it was just like, no part of her, especially the unbelievably bad box, seemed like she was worth $100. And so I was pretty critical in my critique of her and like basically said, yeah, there's absolutely no way I would ever pay this much for this doll. She's pretty, but like she's not that pretty, or like more so, she's not that quality. She didn't seem like she was that quality. And it seems like a lot of people agreed because again, the doll has been canceled. So I'm going to read to you the little like announcement, I guess, that Mattel made regarding this doll. They said, "We've heard your feedback and we're very grateful for it. As a result, our design team is revisiting the Barbie Fantastical Realm doll's details to fulfill your expectations. We're committed to delivering the creativity, quality, and magic that you expect from Barbie and taking the time to get her just right. If you've already placed a pre-order, we'll be processing a refund for you shortly." And then they just say, if you're on our email list, we'll let you know what happens. And if you're not, sign up, which honestly is completely pointless because I've been on their email list and I haven't gotten an email from them in years. So, but that was the announcement that they made, just basically being like, hey guys, we know you're unhappy with this. We want to do good for you. We're going to redo this doll. And as of right now, her future is completely up in the air. We have no time frame about when she's going to get revisited. To be honest, the possibility of her just flat out getting canceled and never coming out isn't outside the realm of possibility, but I'm not saying that that is going to happen. I'm just saying, like, the future is completely open for this Barbie. We have nothing further outside of that message as a time of filming to talk about what's going to become of her, We just know that the stock images that like I'm showing you here, that doll is not going to come into production now. And I think this whole thing is honestly very, very fascinating. Now, I do have to be a bit of a Debbie Downer, because there are definitely a lot of people online who are seeing this and who feel really, really good and are sort of taking the message at face value. And I love that optimism for you. I'm so sorry that I cannot also be that human being, because 0% of me believes that this is actually because Mattel cares about the fact that their consumers are unhappy with the design of this Barbie. And the reason that I say that is like, take a look at the anniversary Nutcracker dolls that are coming out. People hate those dolls. Not because of the fact that they're an anniversary Nutcracker. And I will like give the shout out, they're including Brooklyn Barbie, which I do think is nice, although they are making her, I think, the Sugar Plum Fairy, and some people are like, why can't she be Clara? That's a whole separate discourse that's like not really the point that I'm bringing into this. I'm just saying in general, people don't like those dolls. And the main reason is because they look cheap as hell, especially when you compare it to the original Nutcracker Barbie, who like was so full of detail and articulation and layers and everything. And then we're just getting this for the anniversary. And people are unhappy, and people are not shy about mentioning that they're unhappy. And yet Mattel isn't recalling those. Mattel isn't saying, oh shit, our bad, we'll do better. And in fact, it hasn't been that long. I think I could be wrong on this because I just like don't follow that closely, sorry. But I think that the current ones are like the 25th anniversary of the Nutcracker. So like we recently got what I believe was the 20th anniversary dolls of the Nutcracker just a few years ago. And those dolls were also widely panned and widely critiqued for being extremely cheap. So if they wanted to improve, they had time to improve between the two anniversaries. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't improve between the two anniversaries. And they aren't doing anything about those dolls now, even though they're actively being critiqued. So my theory, along with a lot of other people online, is that the reason that the Fantastical Realms Barbie specifically is getting redone, even though honestly most Barbie releases, it feels like, have some degree of pushback about the quality and the budget at this point. The reason that this one specifically, allegedly in my mind, this is purely just a theory, is getting like special treatment and getting canceled and postponed and revisited is because she was a made to order doll. Again, I'm not like alone in thinking this, but it is just a theory. But a lot of people believe that with a made to order doll, like most dolls that you see have been in production and then they ship out the stock that they have. And then like if it's doing really well, they might keep producing if it's like Playline, that sort of thing. Made to order goes in the opposite sort of direction. They make a prototype, which is what you'll see, and then you'll order the dolls. Like they'll have a window where you can order the dolls, and then they will make however many dolls are ordered, plus presumably some extras just to account for like if there's any defects or anything like that, right? So this is a doll that once the orders rolled in, then production would have started. And me and a bunch of other people sort of think that perhaps Mattel just didn't get enough orders for this doll to make it worth producing her, because that's how unhappy people were with her. So I think that it has a lot more to do with them being like, oh shit, we're not going to be able to make our money on this doll because we haven't produced her yet. So we have like a chance to go back to the drawing board and like try to make this a more marketable doll, versus every other doll that comes out that is an absolute flop from Barbie doesn't get this treatment because the dolls are already made. Like I really, really genuinely do think it has much more to do with Mattel's convenience and like their profit margins than it does with them actually giving a shit about any of the feedback. So sorry if you hadn't thought about it that way, or like if you wanted to like believe the niceness. I don't really know what to tell you. I'm just like a bit more of a cynical person. That being said, I am so excited to see how this doll turns out, partially just because, like I said, while I have my qualms with the quality and the price, I do think the base design is good. So like I'm interested to see what tweaks they will make and how it will turn out later, and if I might end up loving it more or even thinking that it's worth whatever price they choose to price it at. But also I can't lie, like I sort of just am nosy, and maybe I like the drama a little bit of it. Like, I just want to see if Mattel actually manages to create something really, really nice for the amount that they're charging for this Barbie, or if they're going to end up just changing like two things and knocking her price down $10 and seeing if they can get away with that. Like, I know that's such an asshole thing to say, but listen, I just think that this is like a little bit drama, a little bit of tea with them canceling a whole Barbie and being like, oh shit, we need to redesign this because you guys were so unhappy. Regardless of their reasoning, I'm super hyped to see how it turns out. I am optimistic. I hope that it turns out amazing and wonderful and beautiful, and, like, I don't have to make a second video talking about how I don't think that it's worth it still. But even if it turns out that I don't think it's worth it still, like, I'm just nosy. I just need to see how it turns out. So that's the update on the Fantastical Realms Barbie. We'll keep you posted on my thoughts as we learn more. However, that is all that I had in the way of like lighthearted, fun, doll related stuff. So now we need to transition into talking about my mental health and like how that's affecting my presence here on YouTube. So if you don't want to hear that part, again, totally fine. I hope you enjoyed the first part. I hope you have a lovely day, and I hope I'll see you next time. But if you do want to hear that part, oh god, I guess let's just dive on into it. This is like hard to talk about. This is technically my second time filming this whole video, but my third time filming this segment specifically because this segment is the part that is giving me so much trouble. So once again, I'm sorry if I'm just very awkward. And another apology. I understand how frustrating it can be as someone who both creates and consumes content on the internet. I understand how frustrating it can be when someone that you follow is giving you like bits and pieces of a story, but is not giving you the entire story. Yes, it is like a little parasocial, but I'm just saying I get it. Okay. Like we all have that tendency. I feel like some of us more than others. Like I understand that the fact that I'm going to be vague about everything is going to be super annoying. And I'm really sorry because I do truly get it. It's just the stuff that I have to talk about is it's just a little too much. A little too much for me to just air out all the way on YouTube right now. So we're gonna be vague about it. Again, I do apologize. But God, this is the worst. So about a year and a half ago, I got confirmation about something that I'm just going to call the event. The event is something that I had believed for decades had occurred, but I didn't have any like solid proof or anybody outside of myself that was like, yes, this was real. You didn't imagine this. But about a year and a half ago, I got that confirmation that hey, it wasn't in your head. The event did happen, and it ruined my life. I am really gonna try like not to end up crying. Come here, baby. Come soothe me. She's just staring at me like, what are you doing? Um, I'm not exaggerating when I say that. Like again, I know that without thank you, sweetheart, without having the full context, that might sound crazy, but genuinely, every moment of my life up until that point that I got that confirmation just like crumbled and now has to be rewritten with new and horrible context. And especially like the like pre-adult years, like at any time prior to 18, functionally doesn't exist for me anymore because of this event. Like not in the same way that I ever thought it did. And that's really, really hard. And again, I know that that might sound dramatic. Um, I need you to trust me on this one that I'm not being silly. Like this altered every single aspect of my life and made me have to really look at some of my relationships and reconsider them. With that, I meant to disclaim this earlier. I'm so sorry. I do think it's really important to say that like my physical health in terms of like my mental state, I have to be careful because of YouTube, is fine. I want to be alive. I do not want to be hurt in any capacity. I'm not in danger of like physical harm due to my mental health. And also, I want to say that me and Tony are absolutely fabulous, like super strong, totally in love. Like it's nothing with him. He's absolutely amazing. But outside of that, I am kind of a disaster. And I know it has been a year and a half, so it's like, what are you bringing this up now for? If any of you can unfortunately relate to something just like super traumatic and like genuinely ruining your life like that, then you'll probably understand that you don't just heal from something like that in the course of like a couple months. Like this is something that is going to take me probably years more to heal from to the point of like functioning quote unquote normally. And it's also something that is never going to fully go away. Like I will never have another day in my life where this isn't a reality for me and this event didn't occur and it doesn't affect me, which sucks. But with a really long like healing period like that, it's very natural for things to sort of ebb and flow and go up and down. Like there are going to be moments where you feel so much better and like you think you're doing amazing, and then there are going to be other moments that just really suck And there are moments where like it has to get worse before it can get better because you have to go through the pain to reach the other side of it. And I know that I will. I want to emphasize that. Like, I'm not hopeless. I have a lot of hope for the future. I know at some point I'm not going to feel the way that I do right now. But unfortunately, the way that I feel right now has got me in such like a state that I'm not functioning. Like I genuinely, really and truly am not functioning. I like wake up every morning and I'm a morning shower. So I wake up in the morning and then I shower and then I have to lay back down in bed for like 15 to 20 minutes to just have the energy to face the day. Because everything's really hard. And like, I think it's probably been like at least a month since I've had a day where I didn't like just completely break down, like have a full like meltdown, crying, so like, like it's really bad. And like, I'm not saying that to be like, ooh, pity me. Like, I'm just trying to illustrate. I'm not talking about like this lightheartedly because it's not lighthearted. Like, I'm talking about it very severely because it is affecting me very severely. And the reason that I'm bringing it up is because it has started to affect YouTube, unfortunately. I made my Moonspell Magic video and I posted it and like had this whole thing at the beginning being like, yeah, this is the second time I'm filming this because I just felt really awful and insecure and everything. And I need to take a moment to shout out all of you who replied. Like, you all were so unbelievably kind in the comments of that video, just so supportive and so wonderful. And it really, really meant a lot to get to hear that. So thank you if you were one of those people. Like, that just, it helped. It definitely really helped a lot. But because of that, it was like, okay, this is something that, obviously is unrelated to YouTube, but it's affecting you to the point where it is now leaching into YouTube and we need to sort of figure something out. Like, I felt like I owed it to you guys to at least give some sort of explanation as to what's going on and why my posting has been like slightly more erratic than I would like for it to be. I know it's not that bad, but like I like a steady schedule. So it's been slightly more erratic and why I have done like a couple of voiceover videos instead of being on camera. I just felt like it was time to give you all at least like some semblance of explanation. Again, I'm sorry if it's not like quite what you want, but I'm having an unbelievably hard time off camera and I'm just doing my best. With that, I'm sure some of you are like, why are you even posting online? Which is totally fair. And some of you have even been like kind enough to let me know in the comments that like, hey, you're allowed to take a break. You don't have to be doing this. And thank you so much, first of all, to those people for like offering that grace and extending that grace. The reason that I still want to post on YouTube is because the world is a cruel place. And while my mental health is like really, really bad right now, my physical health is also not super. My hands have been in like a horrible, horrible flare up lately. If you don't know, I have like an unexplained pain in my hands. Sometimes it's a lot better, sometimes it's a lot worse. And of course, right now it would be a lot worse. So, because of that, all of like the normal things that I would do to go have fun and like all the hobbies that I would engage myself with so that I can like get out of my head for a moment and try to relax are inaccessible to me. I can't use my hands. Like, I can't craft, I can't draw, I can't paint, like I can't type on a computer. I can barely use my cell phone. So all of the other hobbies that I have are like functionally inaccessible to me right now outside of reading. Reading is the only other thing that I can do, thank goodness. So even though sometimes it is like hard to post on YouTube because it just is inherently something that takes effort, everything takes effort for me right now. And it's also one of the only things that I can do to not think about things for a minute, to like just think about dolls and only be thinking about that and only be thinking about putting together the video and then getting to edit the video and then getting to talk to you guys in the comments. So for right now, I don't want to take a full break from YouTube because it's like one of the only like light spots that I have, like spots of distraction where I don't have to be just engulfed by the sad. I hope that makes sense. That sounds so dramatic. But that's just the truth of the matter. Is like everything is really rough and YouTube for me currently, even though I'm like not perfect in this space either because everything is going so bad, is like an outlet. And so that's why I am still posting. But to conclude things, I do think we're at the point where I have to sort of switch up my posting just a little bit, and I hope that's okay with you guys. I had said in my January recap, how did I forget the month? I'm literally talking about the second month. It's only March right now as I'm filming this. It's fine. But January, I had said that I was going to definitely have videos Monday and Friday, and like Wednesday would be sort of a maybe there will be a video, maybe there won't be a video. I'm still going to try for that. However, I had to skip this past Monday because, like I said, this is my third time technically filming at least this part of this video, and I couldn't get it out for Monday. So we're still trying for the Monday, Wednesday, Friday format. If there's a video on Friday, it will always be a premiere. I can't promise it anymore. Like, I'm going to do my best, but there might be times where I just like can't get a video out, and I'm sorry, but I can't always do it. I also, with my unboxings, I think it's been like a minute since I've been on screen for an unboxing. That's going to continue just because a lot of the time taking the energy to put on makeup and like actually sit in front of the camera and like be visible, be perceived on the camera is a little bit too much for me. So it's just easier if I can be behind the camera for the reviews. And like I said, with like the Moonspell Magic video, I did a voiceover. I did a voiceover for my Dolls I Don't Want video, and I think I'm going to end up doing a few more of those. Not that there's anything wrong with voiceover content inherently. Like, there are tons of people who just do that or do that very, very frequently, and that's fine. Like, it's not a critique against voiceover content. I just know that that's not the type of content that I typically produce, and so it's not the expectation that I have set for you all. But unfortunately, I think that's where I need to pivot to for right now. I don't really know what the future holds. I don't really know how long this is going to be because, like I said, this is a healing process that is going to be ongoing for quite some time. So there are going to be peaks and valleys. And yeah, I don't know what that journey looks like going forward. So I can't promise anything going forward outside of I still want to make content. I still want to post content and engage with you all in the capacity that I can. So I hope that you can forgive me for perhaps having a little bit less strict upload schedule and for having less of my face on the channel. I'm really just trying to balance this and trying to be able to keep this in my life even as I'm dealing with everything. So I hope you can understand, and I hope that's okay. I feel super duper awkward and weird, but that's it. That's everything. That's my mental state. Don't be worried about me. I'm going to be okay. Like I said, like I know everything's really bad, and it's like genuinely, like I kind of can't overstate how bad it is. Like it is terrible. But at the same time, again, I know I will not feel this way forever. I know that there is going to be a point where I wake up and I'm not in tears. Like I know there's going to be a point where I have an entire day and I don't think about the stuff that's going on behind the scenes. So I'm going to be okay. I don't want you all to like worry for me. That's not like the point of this. I just wanted to give you an update and like a light explanation as far as why things have changed tiddly bit and why things have to change a tiddly bit more. But we're going to go forward with hope and optimism, and we're just going to keep going because that's like I think sometimes in the face of adversity, that's all you can do is just keep going and not let it completely pull you down into the muck and mire, and like you just gotta keep going. So that's what I'm trying to do here. Thank you for listening. If you listened to this part of the video, I really do appreciate it. Thank you. Hopefully for being okay with me making sort of a different sort of content for the time being, but that's it for today. I don't really know how to just nicely transition into an outro other than once again to say I'm going to be fine. I hope that you all are doing better than I am. I hope you're having a lovely rest of your day or your night or whatever it might be. I will attempt to be more normal and like chipper in the next video, but I'm just very grateful to you all. Thank you for being here, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.